Unless my photoreceptors are malfunctioning, this doesn't look like a very pleasant place to be imprisoned in. Master is located somewhere within the vicinity. I must locate him.
Burble! I knew you could make it here.
Master, there you are. My sensors indicate that your temperature has rose and your heart rate has quickened. Are you being affected by the presence of the Force Cage? Are you suffering from claustrophobia?
I'm not suffering from claustrophobia, I just don't like being stuck in such a small space. Now hurry up and release us. Access the terminal.
I overload my circuits with worry for you, Master. I really do.
That's much better. About time I got some space to move around a little. Make sure you grab your gear before we head out. It's bound to be around here somewhere.
The entity that I detected earlier is most likely to be located within the main chamber of this temple.
Are you fully equipped? I can only see it getting hairy from here on out, and I don't think you'll get another chance. I figured a former Republic war hero turned Dark Lord of the Sith wouldn't need much time to get prepared for battle. Guess I was right.
Kuyabi Juskuna Chitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun, slimo padona. Rundi hadonga chihonkabi.
For a mechanic, you do an awful lot of thinking.
What are you so afraid of, Mechanic? Don't you remember all those adventures we had on the Orion? Don't you remember how many times we got ourselves in and out of situations like this?
Uba batu kochi. Tong nongbong shang yung yang. Tong patok smaktelia.
So what is our next move? Where do we go from here? And don't forget Sarah Dagana. She saved my neck more than a few times on the Orion, and now it's time for me to repay the favor.
Kuyabi Juskuna Chitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun, slimo padona. Rundi hadonga chihonkabi. Naboda ni wikis matoma. Wana kun best chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non ket.
No time to talk. We need to rescue Sarah Dagana.
The entity that I detected earlier is most likely to be located within the main chamber of this temple. The entity that I...
What? Now that must have What? What? I'm here.
Sarah, it's me, Kobayashi. We've come to rescue you, to get you out of this awful place. Sarah Dagana, come on, girl, answer me. Look at me, anything.
Yatuka Ulwan Kinkuna ba Murira, Rachikun, Mucha Shakpampa, Jawana Bota Ayua Tahunga Chakanki Dora, Kachikuita Hodonga, Topada Bunqualia Gando Donado Chut, Mukshapa.
She in a trance or something? What has Solomon done to her?
Uba Batu Konchi, Tom Nongbong Shang Yungyang.
I don't care about your stupid treasure, Hanik. I'm here for Sarah. I'm here to rescue her, and I'm going to do just that. It's time to get out of this place and back to a world where things make sense.
Tragic, isn't she? She was once my pupil, my protege. I rescued her from a life of insignificance and then gave her calling, a purpose. Many years did she spend under my tutelage, learning, training, and honing the skills that would see her through any trials that life would pose to her. She was once on a path that would have shaped her into a mighty warrior, fit to be called a living embodiment of what my people, the Ichani, embrace as principle, as tradition. Yet that destiny, the destiny she had trained all her life to meet, was not to be. She was deceived, manipulated, and then shaped into a tool of war by a force beyond her understanding. This woman, she once had a name, Channa Mae. The same Channa Mae who you, Reven, stripped of her history, her culture, her identity. The same Channa Mae who you, Reven, transformed into an instrument of your will. The same Channa Mae who you, Reven, stole from me. And now the two of us finally have come face to face without distraction. Welcome, Reven. Welcome to the Chamber of Shadow. Surely you must have known that this confrontation was inevitable. It was a judgment decided when you chose to destroy the woman who was once my Padawan. Since my death at Terrace, all of what was important to me has been rendered meaningless. No longer do I care for the fates of the Jedi, the Republic, or the galaxy. I only care to pursue the single undeniable calling that fate has thrust towards me. To destroy you and all the depravities that your manipulations have spawned. It is a calling that drives me. It is a calling that has empowered me. And it is a calling that will serve to vindicate me for my failure at Terrace. To destroy you, Reven. It will be my revenge. And the Brotherhood of Shadow are the key to attaining that revenge. I will revive them, and I will use them as tools to destroy you and your empire of Sith. But before we settle our score, I sense you lack fulfillment. You lack answers. I wish only to fight you when you are at your best, so ask and I will answer. Channa Mae, the one who I created, the one who you destroyed. You are wrong. Channa Mae was my pupil, not the shell I see before me. I act to deliver a rightful vengeance to who she once was, not what she has since become. Do not underestimate her usefulness. Like you, she is an essential part of the resurrection process for the Brotherhood of Shadow. And she has proved a useful tool to lure you here. The remnants of our bond allowed her to determine a great many things, including my presence on Korriban and the movements I have made across it. By pure chance, I acquired information detailing the crew members which served upon the stolen Republic ship you know as the Orion. One of those crew members was a female Twi'lek named Sarah Dagana. Sarah Dagana is an anagram of Anaged Eris, an ancient Echani queen that is said to be the one most responsible for modern-day Echani culture. At the height of a rule which saw significant cultural expansion, she was betrayed by those closest to her and banished from Echani territories to live the rest of her life on foreign worlds. Channa Mae, although not Echani by birth, was considered to be one in spirit, and thus was well versed in the culture and histories of my people. Although I find it curious as to why she chose that as her alias. After Terrace, I was under the impression that she cared little for her people's culture anymore. Having already been weakened as a result of the ritual process, she was not in the best of conditions to learn of the truth behind your grand manipulation of her. Broken by these revelations, she has since been consumed by the dark side energies that infest this chamber. I doubt anyone, least of all you, will be able to reach her through the hatred and self-loathing I sense she now feels. Ask, and I will answer. Once I was a revered member of the Jedi Order that died, only to be born anew, a greater being. When I fought and defeated Channa Mae during what is now called the Second Battle of Terrace, I made the mistake of underestimating the ferocity of the retreating Mandalorians. When they destroyed the walkway beneath my feet, I plunged into the darkness, leaving everything of significance behind forever. When I awoke, I was defeated. I was broken. I was alone. Trapped beneath what seemed like a mountain of rubble, I was forced to enter into a meditation to slowly heal my broken body. In this slumber, I became unaware of the events that transpired in the galaxy around me. Yet sometimes I caught a fleeting glimpse of my former Padawan's mind, as if some remnants of the bond we shared still existed. It was these glimpses that allowed me to piece together the truth behind her betrayal. When my body was finally healed, I awoke from my meditations with the strength to free myself from my makeshift tomb. The galaxy around me had become a very different place. What was once Jedi was now Sith, and already had they turned on one another. I began my search for the being that was once Channa Mae, because I knew that out of anyone it was she who could lead me to you, Reven. I somehow knew you were still alive, and I was right. I am a man who desires his revenge. Nothing more, yet nothing less. They were a necessary sacrifice. I needed something to coax Channa Mae, and by extension, you out of hiding. It was not the result of this sacrifice, but the act itself which had purpose. The moment it happened, its tragedy was echoed across the currents of the Force. Ultimately, this echo was detected by Channa Mae. Tragedy is commonplace, and each leaves its own imprint on the Force. Channa Mae could only detect the disturbance because of who perpetrated it, her own master. Ask, and I will answer. I have learned much of the Brotherhood of Shadow from the artifact's remains and the writings within this temple. They are not a force to be trifled with so lightly. The Brotherhood of Shadow was a faction within the Sith that originates from ancient times, when the Sith themselves were an actual species rather than merely an ideological view held by the corrupt. During an invasion of Korriban by an advanced race of aliens who referred to themselves as the Infinite Empire, the Brotherhood of Shadow was a faction of individuals that served the Sith King exclusively as a sect of highly skilled warriors and assassins. It is said that the strategies and tactics the Brotherhood of Shadow pioneered on that ancient battlefield was what ultimately brought about a victory for the Sith, despite the Infinite Empire's greater numbers and advanced technologies. This artifact you speak of, the one that you destroyed, its origins do not lie with the Sith, but rather with the Infinite Empire that tried to enslave them. The artifact seems to have been used as a form of punishment for the corrupt, one that separates mind from body and then casts it into imprisonment. It probably came into the Sith's possession around the time of the failed invasion. The ancient Sith were once ruled by a single man, a wise and powerful king named Addis. Under his rule, the Sith were a prosperous and honorable species who had ambitions to expand their influence across the stars, to create a galactic society based on principles not too dissimilar from the Ichanis. But these ambitions were quashed after Addis sacrificed himself to save his people from the enslavement of the Infinite Empire. Addis's Sith believed him to be immortal, and that his rule would thus be eternal. When Addis was killed, they were unprepared to deal with the vacuum of power that was created. At first, it was assumed that Addis's advisors, the Sith King's proclaimed successors, would be the ones to lead the Sith into the future, to claim the riches of an unknown galaxy, using the technology they had acquired from the Infinite Empire. Yet Akirakon Sin, leader of the Brotherhood of Shadow, believed himself to be the one who should lead the Sith, and so he betrayed Addis's designated successors in an effort to install himself and his sect of assassins as the unchallenged rulers of the Sith peoples. Ultimately, the Brotherhood of Shadow was defeated, and their insurrection quashed. As punishment for their betrayal, Akirakon Sin and his Brotherhood of Shadow were condemned to imprisonment within the Infinite Empire's artifact. It is there they would spend an eternity reflecting on the corruptions that had consumed them. Akirakon Sin was the Sith who led the Brotherhood of Shadow, a faction of warriors and assassins who pioneered the strategies and tactics which ultimately defeated Korriban's alien invaders. He was said to be a charismatic figure, a powerful force user, and skilled in the arts of combat. When the Infinite Empire invaded Korriban, boasting advanced technologies and superior numbers, it was clear to Akirakon Sin that they would never be victorious if the war was fought using an approach that relied solely upon brute force. Thus, the Brotherhood of Shadow was born, a sect of elite Sith warriors that chose to forsake the individualistic nature of their species and see themselves as a single entity, an entity that answered only to the Sith King. Whilst the Sith King's armies weathered the wrath of the Infinite Empire, it was the Brotherhood of Shadow that covertly waged a silent war behind the enemy's own lines, decimating its tactical and strategical competence by assassinating the key military figures responsible for coordinating the planetary invasion of Korriban. The repercussions of this silent war were soon felt as the Infinite Empire's armies began to collapse upon themselves in the absence of an effective command. Whilst personally leading the armies which bore the full might of the Infinite Empire, Addis, the King of the Sith, was killed. A dying King Addis entrusted the burden of kingship to be spread amongst his most trusted of advisors, proclaiming them the rightful successors to his rule. This move angered Akirakon Sin, who believed himself to be the one worthy of leading the Sith peoples. After his insurrection was stopped, the rightful rulers of the Sith designated that Akirakon Sin and his Brotherhood of Shadow be condemned to imprisonment within the Infinite Empire's artifact. The artifact itself was a crude device, not suited to harboring beings who wielded power on the scale of the Brotherhood of Shadow. I suspect as generations passed, Akirakon Sin had learned how to interfere with the workings of the artifact from within, allowing him to gradually impose his will upon the great void that imprisoned him. But considering his physical body had long since been destroyed, he was unable to escape the artifact, only managing to project himself as a specter into our reality when an individual was foolish enough to tamper with the artifact. And even then, in our world, without the power of the artifact to provide for him, his spirit would have to leech from the life force of the living to fuel and maintain his presence here. The physical bodies of Akirakon Sin and his Brotherhood of Shadow have long since been destroyed by the ravages of time. To exist in this reality, the spirits of these ancient warriors would have to assume control of actual living people. Hosts, if you will. But the true difficulty lies not with simply finding a host, but rather with finding a suitable host. In life, Akirakon Sin was a powerful being, and so requires the body of an equally powerful subject. In his eyes, you would have seemed the most suitable of subjects to serve as the physical body for the Brotherhood of Shadow. The Temple of Shadow is an ancient and forgotten structure built by King Addis's designated successors to house the artifact which the Brotherhood of Shadow was imprisoned within. Constructed out of materials scavenged from a captured enemy temple, it also became the focal point for the Brotherhood of Shadow's power. Whilst it is true that through your actions the artifact was destroyed, the spirits trapped within survived. Within you, Reven, a Duros named Mechanic and Channa Mae are the remains of the Brotherhood of Shadow. When the artifact was destroyed, the Brotherhood of Shadow's fractured remnants penetrated all who had witnessed their destruction with intentions to leech from their life force in an effort to survive. Scattered and weakened, these remnants must be returned to the focal point, the place in which its essence can be restored and its power once again made whole. The focal point is this very chamber, the heart of the Temple of Shadow. The ritual I have performed on each of you, its purpose was to siphon the Brotherhood of Shadow's remnants from within you and allow them to be reunited. The raw concentration of energy that you see before you is for all intents and purposes the Brotherhood of Shadow. With its power reunited, all that remains for them is to find a means to exercise that power. A host. power of the Brotherhood of Shadow lies in the ability to summon forth these creatures of betrayal at will, and only one, the dominant will, may exercise that power. When the Brotherhood of Shadow is introduced to a new host, the existing dominant will of the Brotherhood must confront and defeat the will of this host. The victor is granted the Brotherhood of Shadow's power, yet also suffers a loss of identity when they become its personification. Since ancient times, and more so since their imprisonment, the Brotherhood of Shadow, rather than seeing themselves as a group of individuals united by a cause, see themselves as merely a single entity. These beliefs were personified in the Brotherhood of Shadow's mantra, the Code of the Shadow. Ask. Then, at last, it is time. Channa Mae, once an individual with an identity to call her own, now nothing but a hollow shell, yet she can still be salvaged of use. She will become the Brotherhood of Shadow's host when the reunited essence of the Brotherhood is introduced to her body. Her hate-filled spirit will gradually be consumed by Akirakon Sin, the dominant will. Yet the power traditionally wielded by that dominant will shall no longer be theirs to grasp when they have fully consumed the spirit of their new host. Instead, through the forced bond of master and apprentice, that power will be transferred to me. I will claim the Brotherhood of Shadow's power, yet I will not become their personification. I will retain my identity. I will remain Darius Solomon. So long for this day, my mind and my body are prepared to face you, to defeat you. Awaken, Shadow, and claim your prize of flesh. Being transferred to my body. Soon I will have what I need to finally attain vengeance. penetrating my body. Power is nearly mine. Just a little longer. Just a little longer.
Sarah, it's me, Kobayashi. You've got to wake up. You've got to break the bond. I know you can do it. I know you can beat this thing. You've had a tough life, but you're still strong. You can still fight. I saw that on the Orion. I see it now. The truth is, I know what it's like to lose everything too. I was once a different Kobayashi. I was once a Jedi. Look into yourself, past the hatred, past the lies. Don't you see? We're the same. We're the same.
Randi Ichawa Tongbola Johnny Ku.
Trust me, you don't want to know.
No! The connections have been broken prematurely. The Brotherhood of Shadow can no longer claim its host, and I can no longer claim their power. My power.
Hachu apanki, Jishawa anibong kasha, Chona si Ichua Byongbo Johnny, Minamambato Mule Ra, Hakugri Katgoda Parabola. Dong Abuk Shami no Nok.
Hey, well, don't mention it. To be honest with you, I'm still trying to figure out how I actually got through to you. It's been a long time since I felt the Force strongly enough to actually do anything with it.
Hachu apanki, Jishawa anibong kasha, Chona si Ichua Byongbo Johnny, Dopayuma pasen lapti non goto.
I can't say I've heard the term, but I was never the best Jedi. My master was a great woman, a bit like you in more than a few ways. Stubborn, but a great warrior. But they say a Jedi's life is sacrifice, and my master's was no exception. She lost her life one day as we fought to defend a settlement from a pirate raid on some obscure planet you've probably never heard of in the Outer Rim. I failed her because the Force failed me. It turned away from me, so I returned the favor. I was all alone. I was captured by the pirates who had slaughtered my master and too stricken with grief to do anything about it. I figured it was all over. But then he came.
Mucho shakapaga.
My savior. The man who I owe my life. Damon Drexel. He found me, killed my captives, and took me as his own. He was on the run back then, having just fled from the Sith in a stolen Republic ship he named the Orion. He sought a new life, a life which I admit appealed to me, so I joined him.
Hakuji kopa? Gino mularak kampiak.
Damon Drexel saved my life. Had he not disappeared, I'd still be with him now.
Randi Ichawa Tongbola Johnny Ku.
Solomon. Is he dead?
Ni bajoni yo lak wish. Dopayumas.
I think we should postpone this until later. We still have the Brotherhood of Shadow to worry about.
Hachu apanki. Jishawa anibong ka sha chona si ichua byong bojoni. Kakin cha na kwat na bon kon. Wanakumbes. Chi pala mulek.
I think we're getting a little bit over our heads, people. This structure is massive and all we have are simple weapons.
Kakin cha na kwat na bon kon. Wanakumbes.
I'm always one to suggest ideas when I get them, but this time, I've got nothing.
Ocho Apanki. Wanga kun best opiki kunyana. Tong patok smaktelia.
You got what? You've got what?
Uba patu konchi. Tong nongbong chang yung yang.
You were carrying explosives all this time? And you didn't think to tell us? To warn us?
Yatuka ulwan kinkun na ba murira. Rachikun. Mucha shakpangpa. La boda ni winki smaktoma. Wana kun best chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non kek. Uba patu konchi. Tong nongbong chang yung yang. Tong patok smaktelia.
That's great. We can destroy this chamber. We can destroy the Brotherhood of Shadow.
Kuyami just kuna chiktanai. Ina kun ba marulira rachikun. Slimo patona. Uba patu konchi. Tong nongbong chang yung yang. Tong patok smaktelia.
No, there has to be another way. Nobody has to die. Not here. Not after all we've been through.
Kuyami just kuna chiktanai. Ina kun ba marulira rachikun. Slimo patona. Uba patu konchi. Tong nongbong chang yung yang.
Master, I will stay. I shall be the one to detonate the thermal charges.
Verbal? No, you can't. You'd be destroyed. And without your memory core, I wouldn't be able to rebuild you.
Master, I am a droid. Model S0Z3. A non-organic machine composed of steel and wiring. You're a living being, with a life of significance and fulfillment ahead of you. It is a harsh truth for me to accept, but your existence is more important than mine.
La boda ni winki smaktoma. Wana kun best chingpa marulira. Tok chingbang non kek. Tok ninja murira rabes. Uba patu konchi. Tong nongbong chang yung yang. Tong patok smaktelia.
Thank you, Verbal. Thank you for everything. I'll never forget you. That I can promise you.
Master, despite your imperfections and flaws, I have found you to be an insightful character. You must keep yourself functional, at all costs.
Don't worry, Verbal. I may be incapable of many things, but looking after myself is luckily something I'm good at.
Kun kili no ba?
Shadow, grant me your power. Use my body to do what I alone could not.
Searcha Chupapanki.
Svilia. Tonghai Saks Wamaji. Yuma Lipa ak Inkokun. Uba Batu Konchi. Yutuka Halwa. Kuya Mi Juice. Kuchitana. Ichuta. Tonghai Wamaji ak Inkokun. King Kun Jobe Shock. Jobaso. Don King Bano Kunne. Tonghai Eldas Wamaji. Yutuka Halwa. Tonghai Eldas Wamaji. King Kun Jobe Shock.
Pudu, Tony Rama na praka donkod searcha, chupapanki.
Kotakwaki at Ingotun, King Kun Jobe Shock.
Dong abuk shami no nok.
Uba batu konki, yutuka halua. Kuya mi juice, kuchitanai. Jobasu, Betrua Pinki, King Kun Jobe Shock. Tuna Mulira, King Banu Kunneklota. Shakti King Watawama Mulira. Aivan takva kenki dora. Jiska to suki kuban ora night capture. Jika jittiman. Juma liva akinko tun. Uba bat ichuta. Tolhai valaji akinko tun. King kun jobe shock.